In the words of an AI voice-generated Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Fortnite finally added Magneto into the game. Now, the X-Men have been in the game before. Unfortunately, I am not able to get some of them because I started playing this game very late. I did miss the original Wolverine costume and a couple others, so I was very, very happy, first off, when we got the announcement of Deadpool and Wolverine, because it means we'll probably get a Hugh Jackman skin. But secondly, I was also very happy when they announced and put in Magneto this season. Now, this season overall has been very disappointing to me, and I know I'm not a Fortnite channel, but it is something I cover from time to time, so if you want to support this channel, you enjoy this video, you can always leave a like, subscribe for more content, and we do have our own Fortnite code, which is DJAY123, which you can use in the support a creator option on the Fortnite store. If you decide to buy something, it does go to help support these channels, which I make basically no money on. But I will say this when it comes down to it. I'm excited for Magneto for several different reasons. One is that they actually took their time with this character and put a lot of effort into his inclusion. Ironically, more effort into his inclusion than into the inclusion of Fallout, a topic that I will talk about over on my other channel, JayRPG, in the coming days. But I do have a question of the day for you before we hop further into it. Is there a superhero or a character at all that you'd like to see join this game? Who is it and why? I'm interested to hear about that in the comments down below. Now, something I love with Magneto is he doesn't just come with one suit option, he comes with multiple suit options. First off, there is the Wastelander Magneto, which I wasn't expecting to like because the Fortnite superhero designs are very hit or miss. Like, I think the Zero Spider-Man is okay. Batman was done pretty well, you know, but they're really up and down. I will say though, with Magneto, something I love about it is it fits the chapter and season that he was introduced in with the Wasteland very well, but it also fits his character. This is kind of a militaristic outfit. It has a little bit of a different helmet than the classic suit, which you can also unlock in this season. And it also has metal parts that are welded slash, I would say, formed onto the outfit itself, which goes along very well with Magneto. I mean, come on, his whole thing is metal, obviously. So it does work very well with this. It looks like a suit that Eric could have put together, and I love it a lot. Like, I wasn't expecting to think that this suit was so cool, but it's just really badass. It's almost like a Mad Max villain meets Magneto, and I love it for that. But I will say that there is also another suit you get, which is much more close to the classic comic suit. We're talking bits of purple, we're talking, you know, the trunks, the whole 9 yards. It's pretty much a Fortnite version of that comic book suit. Now, the suits are actually awesome, and there are many other things that you can unlock that we'll take a look at in a second, but something I love is they also included Eric in here as an NPC just in general. He's someone you can actually talk to at Brawler's Battleground, and you can go through some dialogue from him that is reminiscent of something Magneto would actually say. They don't really get like full in on the Holocaust or anything in here, obviously, because it's Fortnite, but they do get into his dark past. They do get into the fact that he is feared by humans, and also that he is fighting what he believes is a war for mutant kind. And he also kind of talks to you about some certain stuff coming up in the Fortnite story itself, which I'm gonna be honest, I know a lot of people don't care about, but I still think it's interesting. That said, one of the coolest things that you can get from him, and also something you can find throughout the map during his inclusion, so this will probably date the video because I'm sure it'll go away, is Magneto's powers, is the ability to actually form a shield, throw metal objects, do things like this, hover. I thought this was really awesome, and it reminded me a lot of the implementation of certain things like the Avatar: The Last Airbender powers during that season, the bending, or even some of the Star Wars inclusions that they've done in the past. So I wasn't actually expecting this amount of effort to go into Magneto, where they're adding multiple suits and variations, his powers, different things like that. But one of the most annoying things with this season update, I should say, with Magneto, is that unlocking some of this is just dumb. And what I mean by that is some of the challenges around this are easy as dirt. Some of them are no challenge at all, to the point where they're almost trivial, but others are ridiculously annoying. For example, getting Magneto's powers is not actually that difficult, but it is kind of a roll of the dice. It's whether you find it or not, or you kill someone who has it or not. That's kind of annoying, but you know what? It's whatever. I mean, it's a game. You're probably going to play multiple matches. I'm sure you'll find it. Throwing Magneto's powers and metal at cars, easy. That's a nothing burger of a challenge because you can even do it to parked cars. It doesn't matter at all. That said, this comes with one of the coolest emotes I have ever seen in Fortnite or in any game where you can actually dismantle a gun using Magneto's magnet-type metal powers. I mean, I don't really know what else to call it. I mean, his mutant abilities, his gift, if you will. It's very similar to something that you would see in one of the Fox X-Men movies where Magneto is able to grab a gun and just dismantle it using just his powers, using his gift. And I love this emote so much, but it's so frustrating because it was locked behind one of the most obnoxious challenges ever, which was to get damage from above enemy players. Now, I do also want to mention that when it comes down to it, there is another challenge where you have to use Magneto's powers, so you have to go get them, which you might be able to get one from Brawler's Battleground, but Magneto only sells one there per match. Not one per team, not one per person, one per match entirely, or you have to find it randomly. And then you have to use his powers to block a certain amount of shots and damage from players or NPCs who shoot at you or whatever. Now, this is something that can be gamed, but the annoying thing with it and the annoying thing with this other challenge to actually shoot down at players is that it's something that you really almost want to cheese, because otherwise it's very situational. I mean, there are going to be a lot of places in the game where you can be on top, you know, up on the high ground, as Obi-Wan would say, and shoot down at someone. But the only way to fully control this situation is similar to the same way you have to play in order to fully control being able to block someone. You're already going through all the trouble to get these Magneto powers, right? And to do these different quests and challenges. So at this point, you almost want to just find an NPC, stand there, and get them to shoot at you, or a bot, because obviously every lobby is going to have a certain amount of bots playing as well. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I mean, it's not like this was a 2-day time limit, and if you didn't get it, you know, you were screwed, you never got this. I just found that to be kind of an annoyance, that the way these challenges were designed for some of these things, like the gun dismantling emote, or one of the coolest descents I've ever seen where Magneto actually uses metal stairs to walk down as he glides down when dropping, you know, at the beginning of the match. I find it interesting that you basically want to actually cheese these challenges in order to be able to do them to get this stuff more easily or more consistently. So again, before the one person who did it another way without NPCs or AI says, well, I did it this way with players, I'm sure you can. It just felt very tedious when I spent multiple matches doing it that way, to the point where I kind of just gave up, found NPCs and AI, and just cheesed them to actually unlock this stuff. But the stuff itself, I think, is really, really cool. And it really makes me disappointed, though, that a lot of the older X-Men stuff is locked behind seasons. Like, I remember the classic Wolverine is locked behind a season. I'm pretty sure there's something else that was locked earlier on in the game if you missed that battle pass or that bonus quest or whatever. That's kind of a bummer to me, but overall I'm very happy with his inclusion. I think it's hilarious that it was done better than the inclusion of Fallout. Again, I'll talk about that on JayRPG in the coming days. It's gonna be either the next video or the video after, we'll have to see. But I am interested to hear your thoughts down below. Do you like Magneto being in this? Are there other characters you'd want to see? What do you think about all the stuff that you get for actually unlocking him? And also be sure to use our Fortnite code DJAY123 to support this channel. It means the absolute world to us, helps us out a lot in a very unsteady YouTube and unsteady internet. We appreciate you very much. We also do have our own store, CosmoBunny.shop, where you can use that same code DJAY123 for 10% off your first order. If you're here, you probably like superheroes, comic books, manga, things like that. Well, what we do is we take comic books, manga, and magazines, things that cannot be sold. Most of them aren't even being recycled. They're being thrown away by businesses or clearanced out dirt cheap. We turn them into amazing, awesome resin pieces. We use some of the art to create something transformative and new. That was kind of the whole point of fair use, so it's a fun thing to do. And then what we do is we actually recycle the rest. So we're upcycling, we're recycling. We try and use recycled packaging materials as well until we run out of them. So we do have a lot stored up. We hope you'll check that out. My wife Jill runs that store, and she also creates handmade beaded jewelry. Very beautiful over there. I hope you will, consider buying something and supporting us. Have a fantastic day, and as always, everyone, stay shui.